Welcome to Sounders FC Soccer on SoundersFC.com. Live from Starfire Sports Complex in Tukwila, Washington, SoundersFC.com presents the Seattle Sounders Reserves. Now, here's your host, John Billings.
Welcome, everybody, to Tukwila, and it's Starfire Sports, host to today's reserve match between the Sounders FC and the Colorado Rapids. John Billings here with you on the call, and the sun just bursting through the clouds. Should be a beautiful afternoon for a 2 o'clock kickoff between the two teams that met just yesterday afternoon at CenturyLink. Well, let's get you right to the starting lineups. First off, for the Sounders FC, in goal, it's MLS reserve pool keeper, who's now been called into action for the Sounders due to all the injuries, Doug Herrick. In front of him, from left to right across the back, will be Dylan Remick, Sean Cunningham, Patrick Ianni, and Seth Moses. You'll notice a lot of new names, a lot of trialists, a lot of people to take a look at here, as well as some academy players. In the midfield, 4 from left to right as well, David Estrada, Duncan McCormick, the academy midfielder. Number 52, a trialist, and we'll refer to him as just that. And the 28 on the right will be Will Bates. Up top, Eric Zavaleta, who got into yesterday's game for a brief moment, and Sammy Ochoa. Over to the Colorado Rapids, the reserve team led by Wilmer Cabrera, the assistant of Oscar Perea. In goal, experienced 31-year-old Matt Pickens. It's basically a 4-1-4-1. The lineup with left to right across the back, Dylan Serna, Herman Mera, Brenton Griffiths, and Jaime Vides, the right back. Just in front of them will be Anthony Wallace, the holding midfielder. And in front of him, Kevin Harbottle and Jaime Castrillon. Jamie Smith on the right, Tommy Casio on the left. And up front, number 55, Danny Mwanga. Sounders are in the Super Cyan from top to bottom, with Doug Herrick, the goalkeeper, in the color of clean sheets, as Michael Schwerning would say, white, all white. And in the blue, a similar kit to what was worn yesterday by the Rapids, kind of a dark royal tops, same color shorts with red trim, is the Colorado Rapids. Rapids will go from right to left, Sounders left to right, and they'll take the kickoff. It's the Sounders FC Reserves and the Colorado Rapids Reserves underway. It's Starfire. It's all about taking a look at some players, maybe coming back from injuries, some youngsters getting a chance to play with the big boys. We'll see who responds and how it's done, all in preparation to get more minutes and break into the squad for the first team. Early ball out to the left side. Plays Will Bates into the space. He tries a cross. It's blocked away, but it will roll out for a corner kick. Far corner. Sounders with their first of the afternoon. And it will be taken by the number 52. Trialist, about a shade under 6 feet. It'll be a right foot in-swinger. Good ball to the near post. Headed to the top of the box by a Rapids defender. Helped on and out to Dylan Remick, just at the top of the box. Now left side, he'll try to clip it up and down the line, and it's headed out for a Sounders throw. It's an early throw into the box for Zavaleta on the turn, and it's poked off of his toe and out for a second corner in quick succession. Sounders on that far end, with sun shining just about straight over here at Starfire. A little bit of a breeze to the back, and again, it's the trialist to take it with the right foot. The box loaded with players. To the near post, Ochoa off his shoulder, and the official points to the penalty area for a goal kick. Goal kick will be taken by Matt Pickens. He's the experienced goalkeeper in the lineup. Of course, broke his wrist or forearm, more or less, earlier in the season. That happened back in March, and he's working his way back, now nearly fit. And the team says maybe another week, and then they've got a goalkeeper competition on the line to see who will be in goal for the Rapids the rest of the way. Ball clipped down the right side, headed down, and now the Rapids are in possession in their own half. A couple of shades of blue determine the two teams, the little darker royal against the cyan light blue from the Sounders. Throwing for the Sounders, thrown into the box. Zavaleta on the turn, gets past his defender, sneaks by a second. His shot deflected wide, and it'll be another corner for the Sounders. Excellent feat from the big attacker, Eric Zavaleta, able to turn one defender, then touched it past the other. Tried to curl it into the back post, and even off the deflection, it looked like it might have made its way in to the far upright. But just wide, and now the third corner for the Sounders. This one a little bit shorter, top of the box. And it was off Ochoa, who then hit it off a Rapids defender, and the official points back to the corner flag. It'll be another corner for the Sounders, taken quickly to David Estrada. Not a great pass back to the trialist as he recollects possession and touches it back to Dylan Remick. Good crossfield ball to Patrick Ayani. Right side, edge of the box. His ball too far, all the way over to the far corner flag, and kept in by David Estrada. Estrada will touch it back to near midfield. And the ball switched again to the near side. Ayani takes it off the chest and a quick touch for Duncan McCormick. Now Ayani finds the feet of Zavaleta. Sounders with some good possession here in the 4th minute of action. 0-0, still the score. Remick brings it forward and finds Estrada going 1v1 at the edge of the box. Almost beat his defender, but had to recollect the ball. Now on the turn, back out to Remick. Crosses into the box. Ochoa rises, as does the defender, Herman Mera. And Mera got a little bit of a deflection, knocked the ball down, and scooped up by Matt Pickens. Well, the Sounders have not had a great year so far in the reserves as the Rapids come the other way. Serna into the corner. Great sliding challenge. And the ball poked out of play. It's taken by the youngster Seth Moses. Flag raised, offsides. These two teams not with the best reserve standings, but really the result is not top priority in these matches. So much more important to get players back fit, get them with game touch, cohesiveness, and ready to go for the MLS. That said, with 7 games played, the Rapids are 2-4-1. Sounders reserves with 6 played are 1-4-1, the two last place teams in the Western Conference Reserve League. Estrada able to reach out a boot and pull it away from the defender. Almost linked up with Sammy Ochoa, but now we go the other way. Rapids able to find feet out to the right channel. It's Danny Mwanga. Sounders back in good numbers, but Mwanga takes it at him and rips it into the upper V for the goal. 6 minutes into the match, and Danny Mwanga with, I think, his first touch of the game, and a bolt into the upper V. Mwanga really had only one choice. He was on his own, took it from the corner of the box, and gets his second reserve goal of the season. And now his 5th game played. Danny Mwanga making a case to get back into that first team lineup for the Colorado Rapids with an absolute screamer of a right-footed shot. Now the Sounders looking for a response. Edge of the area. It's Eric Zavaleta as a defender all over his back, and it was very well done by Herman Mera, the 23-year-old, to poke it out of play. Now a crossfield ball looks like it's going to float all the way up and out for a goal kick. So just like that, the Rapids on top, 1-0 over the Sounders. Danny Mwanga, your goal scorer. His bright orange boots blazing out here in the sunlight at Starfire. Not much Doug Herrick could have done about that. I mean, it nearly glanced off of both upright and crossbar. Tough to place that shot any better, and he did it with power as well. Danny Mwanga, of course, well known in the Northwest after graduating from, spending some time, I should say, from Oregon State University before going to the Philadelphia Union and just turning 22 this week. Amazing to think as he's in his 5th year in the MLS. Now Sounders looking to respond the other way, right in front of us down here at midfield. A couple of quick touches from Seth Moses. Some new names for the Sounders out here today. You'll notice Sean Cunningham, Seth Moses. We've got a trialist as well, Duncan McCormick in the midfield for the Sounders, some of which are academy players, some of which training with the team on trial. There's Dylan Remick, far side, whips the ball to the top of the area, nodded down towards the run of Eric Zavaleta by Ochoa, but you could hear the murmur of the crowd as Pickens able to snatch it out of the air. Ball picked up, Sounders attacking half. There's Remick at the top of the box. Check that, it was Will Bates. His shot blocked on the way through. Rapids with it in their own half. Good crossfield ball, near side to Tony Cassio. 23-year-old out of University of Connecticut. Not a great season for him, but he showed what he could do last year. Long shot attempt and punched wide by Doug Herrick off the foot of Kevin Harbottle. The Chilean looked like he was going to mark one for himself, but a quick reaction from Doug Herrick forces it out for a corner. 9th minute of play. Be a corner on the far side. And a left-footed in-swinger from Harbottle. Good ball in, but it's headed away by Dylan Remick. Back to the corner kick taker. He'll try a second one, this time to the back post. And Doug Herrick read it well, snatches it out of the air. Well, Doug Herrick in goal. Not second choice, not third choice, not really even fourth choices. With all the Sounders injuries, he's been called into action. The Sounders in good hands with the former Sounder U23, as well as West Coast Conference star at St. Mary's. Rapids with it, out to their right back. Trialist out of Guatemala, Jaime Vides. Able to find Jamie Smith on the right wing. Back to Harbottle in the middle. He'll try a long diagonal ball out to Cassio, and the Yukon man with a good first touch tries to return the favor with another crossfield ball, but it was headed away by Dylan Remick. Still with the Rapids. Top of the box now for Mwanga. He'll touch it back to a midfielder, Castellon. The Medellin native. Off to Mwanga. Good interplay from the Rapids. Now Mwanga back at the top of the box. Left side to Cassio. He'll try to send it across the face of goal, and it's cleared up. And they'll say last touch by the Rapids. Dylan Remick was there, but it'll be a goal kick for the Sounders. Good play from the Rapids. With this lineup, just Mwanga up top, it's important that they possess the ball. Then they can get the midfield into the attack. And they did just that on that last opportunity. Able to build well. It's a pretty crowded midfield here with 5 from the Rapids and 4 of the Sounders. Eric's clearance. Won well by Eric Zavaleta just to nod it down to the side for Will Bates. And the Sounders have earned, I believe, a throw right near the corner flag. Well, Eric Zavaleta showed in yesterday's match the 1-1 draw with the first teams of these two squads. His ability to win the ball in the air, and he's going to have a chance at it here on the long throw. Takes a bounce. Estrada chases it down. With a touch back to Moses. Seth Moses looking to go 1v1. Strong, athletic player. Finds Duncan McCormick in the midfield, the academy star for the Sounders U18s. Now the trialist with it, trying to evade a couple of tackles. Will touch it back. And coming forward is Sean Cunningham. He'll try it and puts it off the upright. Sean Cunningham, a trialist with the Sounders FC, coming by way of Norway, where he played for Molde FK. a former U23 national teamer, tried the left-footed blast and skipped off the turf here at Starfire and into the bottom corner. I think Matt Pickens thought it was going wide. It was certainly through traffic. But either way, a great way to announce yourself to your new trialing team with a 13th minute goal, and we're tied 1-1. Now Cassio comes away and he immediately answers, and it's 2-1 to Colorado. Well, it came off a diagonal straight from the restart, off to the left side, one touch to the inside, and it looked like the Tony Cassio of 2012. He did it in first team matches where he touches it in and blasts it to the back post. A little too lax with the defending for the Sounders, and Cassio made him pay. Well, how about this for some action? We're in the 13th minute. We've already seen 3 goals, and some saves have kept it from being even more. It's always going to be difficult to have great cohesion with your back four when you've got some trialists, some new players playing. You see it even with the first teams, with the Sounders, when they've had injuries with that back four, especially the 2 center backs, to not be kind of on the same page can really be deadly. And right now, both of these teams showing the attacking ability to make the opponent pay if they're not on the same page. So it's the Rapids 2, and it's the Sounders 1, now in the 14th minute. Goals from Mwanga and Cassio for the Rapids. Herrick all the way out to the edge of his box. He'll scoop it up and roll it for Patrick Ianni. And the lone goal for the Sounders coming from Sean Cunningham, the 20-year-old defender. Center back came forward, long shot into the bottom right corner. And the Sounders found themselves level for a moment before an immediate response from the Rapids. Duncan McCormick out to the right side for Moses. Looking to go kind of left to right before he touches it back to the young midfielder, McCormick. And Ianni will look to switch. Will Bates just coming off his mark, came back into midfield. Finds McCormick, a couple quick steps from him. Duncan McCormick headed to Wake Forest University. To give you an idea of his ability at the age, he still has one more year of high school left before a head off to college. Impressive program, part of the Sounders Academy, U16s, U18s, now extended even younger. Here's Sammy Ochoa on the turn. Touched out with the outside of his right foot to Seth Moses. He'll cross it all the way to the back side of the box. Remick will just chest it down to Will Bates. Bates now left side of the box. And his driving cross blocked out for another corner in the first half. Sounders just pouring players forward. Center backs Ianni and Cunningham come forward. They'll certainly be targets here, as well as Eric Zavaleta. Some good size from the Sounders as well. Right in front of the goalkeeper is Sammy Ochoa. He's over 6'2", and this one goes right to him. He'll take a couple steps towards the back post, but it's punched away by Pickens. If it would have made it over his head, Ochoa was there to nod at home. Remick trying to look to the feet of Zavaleta, top of the box, headed out to McCormick. Shows some nice strength to evade Danny Mwanga. Then another defender, and attempt to slip a little ball through, blocked away, Rapids with it. And good stuff from McCormick, came back, won the ball. And here's Estrada, try a lofting diagonal. Pickens all the way out to the edge of the box, corrals it, goes down, and has it safely for the Rapids. 17th minute, if you're just joining us here on SoundersFC.com. A reminder, check out the highlights after the match. We'll have some video for you as well. And we'll have eyes on all the angles here at Starfire. It's 2-1, Rapids on top right now in the 17th. Dylan Remick, he'll try a long lofting ball. Zavaleta with 2 defenders there just to usher it out of play. Well, if you missed the match yesterday, a 1-1 draw, Sounders and Rapids, with the first teams on the field at CenturyLink. It was the Rapids, just like today, who got out first, nodding home a corner kick. But the Sounders with a great response just 4 minutes after the Drew Moore goal in the 60th DeAndre Yedlin with his first goal of his MLS career. And put the Sounders level at 1-1 in the 64th minute. And we'll have DeAndre for you at halftime, so stick around for that as well. Here's Sammy Ochoa, top of the box, left side now. Off to Will Bates. One touch to Prep, and then he'll drive a shot into the shins of the Rapids defender. Sounders still with it. Right side now. Estrada had that one going well over his head, and I think just a quick reaction. He actually reached up and grabbed it as if he was a goalkeeper. Clear handball. No real intent there. Yeah, just to finish that point, we'll have DeAndre for you at halftime with Matt Gash, so stick around. Sounders are in. Chance for Zavaleta. He puts it in, but the flag raised. Offsides. And a good call. Just a couple steps behind the back four. Right at the edge of the box. One touch to Prep and a nice shot into the bottom corner, but the flag raised early and correctly. With that goal yesterday, Yedlin not only has the mark of youngest player to play for the Sounders and minutes played and goals scored, but now official MLS goal. Becomes the youngest player to do that. Just a few days over 20 years of age. And you've got some academy players both on the starting lineup and on the bench here today for the Sounders. And you talk about an inspiration. Yedlin coming through that program and moving up as the first homegrown player since Juan Agudelo to be brought into the MLS All-Star game. And the first rookie since a guy by the name of Michael Parkhurst, who's made a nice career for himself. So a really bright spot for the Sounders, showing what the academy can be and really showing what the future of U.S. soccer could be as well. Little diagonal attempt. Easy ball to collect for Doug Herrick. Sounders will start from their own box. Just ticked over the 20th minute mark now. Will Bates, little 1-2 to Zavaleta. And Zavaleta is just a hassle. You can see why he was one of the top players in college soccer last year, playing from Indiana University, and brought Indiana all the way to the College Cup championship, in which they won. He had 18 goals, but he's got such size and strength, he's never going to be an easy player to mark. Remick attempting to cross it into Ochoa and Zavaleta. Played up and out. Now in midfield. A little bit of possession here for the Rapids. They'll try on the counter. Left side, Jamie Smith on the angle, going 1v1. Touches it inside. Now a little heel flick. Back to Casio. He'll try a left-footed drive, and it's 3-1. A goal for the Rapids. Tony Casio with his second goal of the match. And despite the Sounders' possession and attacking, it's been counters from the Colorado Rapids with just deathly venom coming this way on this left side. Tony Casio again on the board. The last one was a right-footed shot. This one was a left. Well, it's kind of learning by fire here. It's like tossing a little kid into the deep end. Some of these players for the Sounders having to figure it out on the fly. And it's been a learning case so far defensively. Some bright spots, certainly. Sounders have looked dangerous going forward and look like they could pull this 2-goal deficit back if the circumstances are right. Ball picked back up for the Rapids, but possession one. Patrick Ianni coming forward, the captain today. Now that ball blocked down right off an arm, but we play on. Danny Mwanga, we go 3-on-3 with the Rapids in possession. Now the far right side, a ball curling to the back post, but too far and out of play. I think it was Castellón just trying to bend one into the back post. Too difficult for him. And Sounders will restart. Few options on the bench for the Sounders today. David Olson from the academy, Henry Wingo from the academy, Ashani Fairclough, who was with the Sounders for a while earlier this year, brought back for the reserve match today, along with Luis Ramos and a name that Sounders fans will know pretty well, Brian Meredith, the backup goalkeeper today, back from Sweden. Ochoa, little knotted ball down. It's going to run and may run all the way out of play. Estrada's trying to make sure that doesn't happen. applied some pressure, but it will be a goal kick to the Rapids. But with Cassio's 2 goals here today, he now has 3 on the season for the reserves. And Cassio, as a rookie last year, was one of the top players in Major League Soccer for their first year. The 14th overall pick by the Rapids in 2012 draft. Came on for 3 goals, 3 assists, and 29 games played. It's been a little harder for him this year. Only 1 goal in MLS play so far this season. And I think he's showing his head coaches today he's ready. Rapids just across midfield with possession. It's poked off the foot of Danny Mwanga by Duncan McCormick. In the 24th minute. Cunningham just with a touch. And now Patrick Ianni, California native, brings it forward. We'll try a diagonal back to the left side. Zavaleta in, but again the flag raised. Offsides. Now, these matches important for a player like Patrick Ianni, a guy who's always right on the edge of that starting lineup, but has had some injury-riddled seasons here in Seattle, and it seemed to kind of stunt some of his growth. But important for these kind of matches to keep him 90 minutes fit, keep his touch tight, and be ready in case they're in need. With all the injuries the Sounders have had, there's a lot of opportunity for guys to get that little glimmer of hope and see what they can do with it.
Come on!
Rapids in their own half, just possessing things, trying to pull the Sounders out. Now into the center circle. Just across midfield. Cassio finds himself in the center of the pitch, but he has the ball taken off his foot. Here comes Ochoa the other direction. He'll just hold up and allow the midfield to get forward with him. Now Seth Moses on the right side. Finds the midfield. The ball over the top, knocked down. Rapids back with it. Danny Mwanga, and another counterattack opportunity. Mwanga coming the other way. About 10 steps away from the top of the box. He pivots, turns it, and touches it out wide to Cassio. Now we're back in the midfield. A lot of time right now for the Rapids when they receive possession, have time to take a touch, look up, evaluate the field, and find a player. Sounders closing a little bit, leaving desirability here. Rapids will go all the way back to Pickens now to retain possession. Pickens looks long. Flag raised as a player coming back from an offside position. 26th minute, if you're just joining us, 3-1. Rapids on top of the Sounders reserves. The lone goal for the Sounders coming from trialist number 42, Sean Cunningham. Center back who came forward and put together a nice shot. It's a free kick. That whistle giving the Sounders an opportunity from near the edge of the penalty area. Will Bates just drugged down as he tried to work his way past his defender. I'd say a good 10 steps outside, right on the far corner of the box. Sounders and Rapids both lined up right at the edge of the penalty area. Rapids trying to hold a high line here. 2 players over the ball, and it's a 2-man wall. Left-footed and a right-footed option. It'll be the right-footed option. Towards goal, headed away, all the way out to the center of the pitch. Just lobbed back in and now headed back to Pickens. An alert play from the center back, Brenton Griffiths. I would say an aerial ball is probably not the way you're going to beat these guys. They're 2 center backs, both at about 6'3", stout, athletic. Ball into the box is going to be a tough one to win. Near side touchline. It's Anthony Wallace. Wallace a little bit more on the left side right now, but he'll basically sit in front of the back 4, kind of that holding midfielder. Long lob ball over the top. And one that's testing the Sounders a little bit. Cunningham read it pretty well off the big bounce and headed it out to Remick. Now Sammy Ochoa on the turn. trying to lay out a diagonal ball to David Estrada. It's cut out, but the Sounders back in possession. 28th minute. Ochoa, a little right-footed flick, looking for Zavaleta. I don't think Zavaleta read it as well as he could have, but the Sounders back the other way now. Here's Ochoa. Puts his foot on the ball, slows it up, and the midfield gets forward with him. Sounders just looking for that little bit to unlock the back four here. And a little bit of frustration. You can see the forwards coming back off their forward line just to receive the ball, but nobody's getting into that space they vacated. Ball into the feet of Dylan Remick as he touches it back, and it's kind of defense to midfield and back again. Now Ochoa comes off his forward line to receive it and touches it back again to the defense. Ayani thought about a switch, looks back forward, and will just loft one into the far corner. Onto the run of Dylan Remick, and it's headed out, throw in for the Sounders. Long throw into the feet of Will Bates. Battles a bit, but it's cleared away, only as far as the Sounder and Duncan McCormick. Now back to Bates, edge of the box, left side to Remick. Into the channel, trying to cross to the back post. I think he may have been just looking to hit it off of the feet of the defender there and earn a corner, but it didn't touch anybody and will be out for a goal kick. The Sounders with their reserve match here today. And then it's 1 week time that they get back to action again. Next up is Chivas USA. And they've got a little stretch of home matches in Major League Soccer, and then each one of those will be followed by a reserve game the next day. So it's the 29th of July when they're back here at Starfire against Chivas. And then remember the game a few months ago, played at Cheney Stadium, the baseball field in Tacoma against Orlando City SC. Well, they'll return the favor and go to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando August 11th, part of that USL Pro partnership between Major League Soccer, in an effort to make these games a little more competitive and advance the development of young players in MLS. The helicopters going over the top here. It's a sunny day at Starfire now. You may hear the train going by our left as well. All part of the atmosphere here. Good ball into the box. Met by defenders and attackers both. Was knocked down for a second. Now lobbed up into the air. And it's clipped up into the air once again. Good touch from McCormick, but he has a lot of contact there. And Anthony Wallace shows his strength, able to win it off the academy player and then earn the foul. The reserve team, a product certainly of Oscar Pereira's kind of mentality with the Rapids. It's an athletic team. Strong in stature, a lot of pace. You can see that with the team that the Sounders played against yesterday, guys like Deshaun Brown and Tiba Harris, who can run with anyone in Major League Soccer. And the reserves, just a similar stature with a little bit younger age. Now into the center of the pitch. One of the most diminutive players out there, Kevin Harbottle, with good skill, the 23-year-old. A couple nice touches. And now the ball sprayed out to the left side. Jamie Smith will touch it back to Serna. And his cross to the top of the box, picked off by Patrick Ayani. Sounders maybe have a chance here to counter. Will Bates on the ball, just across midfield. The Virginia product switches it to the right side now. Sammy Ochoa, he'll try a cross. Trying to get it all the way back to Will Bates. He's going to run it down, but didn't really have an opportunity on goal. One touch to collect it. Now a ball slipped through, and it's off the side netting by Eric Zavaleta. Dylan Remick with an alert pass off to the curling run of Eric Zavaleta. Had just enough time for a quick toe poke. Thought he might be able to beat Pickens at the near post, but put it on side netting. And now he gives a little thumbs up to Remick as they walk back. You have to be impressed by the runs that Zavaleta's making. He's been active so far today. The 1-2 with him and Duncan McCormick. And a handball right near midfield for the Sounders. Ioni finds Ochoa, who just had to step around the referee there. All sorts of obstacles out there, even the refs getting in the Sounders' way today. And back up top to the feet of Will Bates. He can play in the midfield or up top, starting more or less a wide midfielder here today. Rapids come away with possession, and again will look to stretch the field and counterattack. Danny Mwanga. Born in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of the Congo. Left side now, Serna, near the edge of the box. We'll touch it back to Castrillon, who just surveys the field for a moment. Now back to the left back, Dylan Serna, 19-year-old. Homegrown product for the Rapids. Trying to make a little bit of a run to give an option to Anthony Wallace, but Wallace holding off the defense and earns a throw-in to the Rapids. Doesn't like it. Thought he was getting fouled there. I think he should try being marked by some of his defenders. See what he would say about that. Ball touched back to Serna. Some great little touches in the midfield right now. Rapids brimming full of confidence. 34th minute, 3-1's the score. Time to look up for Castrillon. Looking to pick out Danny Mwanga. Takes it off his chest. Was holding off the defender, but the flag was raised. Offsides. And it must have been a close one. So the Sounders will come the other direction. Zavaleta played through. Maybe has Ochoa to his right, but instead drops it back to our trialist here, number 52. Looking to make a case for the Sounders. If you're wondering, we do have some information about him, but not allowed to release this. Essentially, it's a similar situation to what the Sounders had last year in the preseason with Mauro Rosales. With Major League Soccer rules, you have the opportunity to bring players in basically on a discovery circumstance. And you can't blame the Sounders looking to discover players, but don't want to give them up to everybody else. So that's the situation here today. And Sounders would be delighted to find another Mauro Rosales. No question about that. Whistle you heard was an offside. Sounders back in possession. And it's quickly turned over to the Rapids. 35th minute. Serna on the left side. Harbottle. Not very often you hear a name like Kevin Harbottle for a Chilean native. And it's not my accent that you should be blaming here. That's what they say they call him. And he's one of a few players with the Rapids that's just right kind of on the edge of that starting lineup, trying to make his way into the first team. They've had a lot of young players this season really rise and show well. Guys like 19-year-old O'Neill, the center back from Ireland. And Sean O'Neill, when he's been in the lineup, they've basically been unbeatable. About 7 games unbeaten now. And that makes these young players who, even if you play well in a reserve game, there's not a lot of space to get into the lineup. A little different story for the Sounders. You've got a lot of young players and some prospects playing in today's game because of all of the injuries. We'll get to that in a moment here. Sammy Ochoa just stretching out his boot, trying to recall the pass, but too far in front of him, and the Rapids try another counterattack. It's blocked out for a throw. Well, the Sounders with injuries and missing a few players for other reasons as well. To begin with, 3 goalkeepers, Michael Sperning, Marcus Hanneman, and Josh Ford, all injured. That's why we have Doug Herrick here today, and Andrew Weber, who started the game yesterday in the MLS match. Here's Mwanga, left side into the box for Jamie Smith. 1 touchdown, and he'll try the near post and misses by about 2 feet. Looked like Doug Herrick had it covered. Well, it's not just the goalkeepers, though. You've got defender Jimmy Traore out with the injury. Zach Awani has been out for a while now, trying to recover from his surgery. Shalry Joseph, little calf issue. Alex Kasky, Philip Lund, and Andy Rose, all out. And that's part of the reason why we've called in players from the academy, the U18 academy, actually playing in Texas recently this week. And some of the players who either for red cards or for other reasons have returned, they said, you're not coming back to relax. We need you. So we called those guys up. Got some trialists in here as well. David Estrada, right side, will touch it back to one of those trialists, Seth Moses. Moses out of Maryland. Some of these young guys coming with some real pedigree. Moses, part of the former U18 national teamer from the U.S. Sean Cunningham, a U23 national teamer as well. Here's Ochoa, top of the box, just touching it off to Estrada. It looked like he could poke it through the back four, but it's blocked on the way in. Estrada playing on the right side here now. Rapids in their own half, 38th minute. And if you're just joining us, a lot of action through the first, well, it was about 15 minutes in, and we were already 3-1, or 2-1 at that point. And then it became 3-1 with Casio. Rapids coming the other way. A long shot off the bounce and clutch by Doug Herrick. Good save. It can never be an easy one when it bounces a couple feet in front of you. But a safe skip off the turf. And Herrick was able to pull it in. Doug Herrick, a naturalized Guam national teamer. Yeah, you heard right, Guam has represented the nation on the international stage. Zavaleta read the bounce pretty well at the top of the box. You can hear the shouts. It was because a really, really high boot from Brenton Griffiths, the Jamaican. He actually cleared the ball off the head of Eric Zavaleta. It went back to Pickens, the goalkeeper. That's certainly a good shout for a dangerous play. He did get the ball, though. Dylan Cerna touches it back. Cerna had a brief stint at Akron before coming in as a homegrown player for the Rapids. Not unlike one DeAndre Yedlin, who played for Akron for a couple of years before coming back to Seattle as a homegrown as well. It's a trend that you're going to see a lot in Major League Soccer. The MLS drafts in future years will be kind of about drafting that second-tier player. With a lot of the top-tier guys are going to be going directly in from academy to first teams. And certainly the Sounders are hoping to produce more of them. There's one. Duncan McCormick just touched it back to Cunningham, who tried a long ball and too far for everybody. Wind's picked up here a little bit. It's in the face of the Sounders, a little bit diagonally across from near to far side of the field. Remember, the Sounders going from left to right as we look down onto the pitch. And we've just passed about 40 minutes on the clock here at Starfire. Beautiful sunny afternoon. It was a little cloudy this morning, but now they can barely find a cloud in the sky. I've been hearing word about mid to high 70s here in Seattle. A gorgeous July afternoon. Anthony Wallace on the turn, back to Matt Pickens. 9th season in Major League Soccer for Pickens. Spent all of his career in MLS except for 1 year in 2008, a short stint with QPR, Queen's Park Rangers in England, and did not feature for that team. Jamie Smith in midfield, a little outside of the right boot to drop it back for Wallace, and then found Harbottle, but his touch goes awry. Sounders back with it. Good first-time volley from Ochoa out to the right side for Estrada. Now the Sounders looking to switch. A lot of space in between the midfield and forwards now, and that space filled by Sammy Ochoa coming back from his target position. Touches it back to Iani, who tries the diagonal. Pickens off his line, has to be read well, comes off the chest of his outside back, Jaime Vides, who chested it back to Pickens. Pickens said, I wasn't quite ready for it, but he was able to scamper back to his left and pick it up. And you can see why having players on the same page could be so vital. Even goalkeeper to defender, something the Sounders have had to deal with now with all their injuries. They need to be on the same page. One little mistake in that part of the field could turn directly into a goal. Rapids possessing the ball in their own half. Wallace has it clipped away by Duncan McCormick. Now as Dylan Remick trying to pass up to the feet of Zavaleta, he was clipped down. It'll be a foul right at midfield. A little pause in action. We want to remind you, stick around for us at half. We'll have SoundersFC.com's own Matt Gash alongside DeAndre Yedlin, star from yesterday's game, with his first goal in Major League Soccer play. The same week, he was called up to the MLS All-Star game. So we'll have that for you at halftime. Chance to hear from the man himself. And we're getting pretty close here. 44th minute now. Will Bates will lay it back to Dylan Remick. He's got a defender just kind of coming back onto his shoulder, but able to find McCormick. Now top of the box, laid off for Ochoa. He left the ball a little too far out, was poked away by Mera. Now Remick able to touch it back. Dylan Remick, a guy who's really utilized these reserve matches, been a mainstay in them for the Sounders this year. A second round pick. Was in the 18 yesterday, but didn't feature. Now Estrada into his feet. David Estrada, a lot of kind of quirky injuries this year. Had an ankle injury, but also an eye injury for a bit. He has the ball thrown into his feet. Able to get past Serna, the defender. Now running at the back four. Lays it off for Ochoa, who looks right side to Zavaleta. He's got a 1v1. Able to get past his defender. He'll try a drive. It's blocked down by Pickens. Ball still in the box. Now headed free. Not too far out. But with the feet now of Anthony Wallace, and we're out to midfield. Great play by Zavaleta, but matched by the save of Matt Pickens. In the 45th minute now. And Dylan McCormick comes back and recovers possession for the Sounders. Ayani able to find his right back's feet. Seth Moses. Moses in the bright white boots. He's not tall, but he's thick. You can see the athleticism. Now Sounders switching the ball far side now into extra time in the first half. And the diagonal attempt, little through ball, collected by Pickens. Just a little finger raised to the sky by our center referee here, indicating 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Long ball headed down by Bates to Estrada. Little time and space in the midfield now. The diagonal passes to Zavaleta, who surprisingly got to that ball with his head, nodded it back, but nobody was there. And those three whistles means end of the first half. The score, Colorado Rapids reserves 3, Sounders FC reserves 1. An eventful first 45 minutes. We'll have 45 left to go as the Sounders looking to prepare to the second half of the MLS season. We're going to take a quick break here. As we mentioned, halftime festivities. Join us here on SoundersFC.com.
Dream big, win big when you enter for your chance to win a trip to watch the Sounders play in sunny Dallas this October, only from American Family Insurance. This trip for 4 includes airfare, lodging, game tickets, sideline passes, Sounders jerseys, and more. It's a dream come true for any Sounders fan. To enter, visit amfam.com/Sounders today. Your dream is out there. Go get it. American Family Insurance will protect it. American Family Mutual Insurance Company and its subsidiaries. Home office, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783. No purchase necessary. For official rules and to enter, visit amfam.com/Sounders.
There's a right time for everything, and the right time to select a doctor is before you need one. A great place to start is Virginia Mason Medical Center, where more than 450 staff physicians practice team medicine. You can review our physician profiles online at virginiamason.org. You're certain to find several you'd be proud to call your doctor. Virginia Mason Medical Center. We're here to provide you with the care you need and the reassurance you want.
Your table for 4.
Sounders FC fans, how about a table for 4 right on the field? Watch Sounders FC take on the competition from your exclusive slalom experience pitch side table at CenturyLink Field. This exclusive experience includes an on-field table for 4, food and beverage with wait staff, on-site parking, and more. Call 877-MLS-GOAL or visit SoundersFC.com to experience the match from the sidelines.
When your Sounders suit up off the pitch, they turn to Hart Schaffner Marks. For nearly 125 years, Hart Schaffner Marks has been making expertly designed, high-quality, and sophisticated tailored clothing right here in America. From all-star athletes to CEOs and presidents, Hart Schaffner Marks has been committed to helping men look their very best since 1887. Hart Schaffner Marks is the official tailored clothier of your Sounders FC and Major League Soccer. Hart Schaffner Marks is available at hsmclothing.com and select Nordstrom stores.
For the most up-to-date news and info on this week's matchup, including players to watch, opponent stats, and much more, check out the CenturyLink Scouting Report, hosted by me, Ross Fletcher. You can find this week's match breakdown on SoundersFC.com, at home matches on the Jumbotron just before first kick, and on your smartphone via the Sounders FC mobile app. CenturyLink, your Sounders FC and CenturyLink Field high-speed internet provider.
Kick gas prices in the shin guards by taking Sound Transit to your next Sounders home game at CenturyLink Field. With the money you're saving on gas and parking, you'll be able to buy more hot dogs, drinks, and garlic fries for the entire family. You can also give traffic stress a yellow card and ride relaxed so you'll arrive ready to cheer for the home team. Visit soundtransit.org today and try the new trip planner. That's soundtransit.org. They'll make your next trip to the stadium easy.
Welcome back to Sounders Reserve League Soccer from the Starfire Sports Complex in Tukwila, Washington. Now here's your host, Matt Gash.
Welcome to Starfire. Sounders trailing the Colorado Rapids 3-1 in this Reserve League match. You're listening on SoundersFC.com. I'm Matt Gashkin. I'm joined now by Sounders FC defender DeAndre Yedlin. DeAndre, first of all, congratulations on your first goal in MLS.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's that like? We talk a lot about kind of, the feeling of scoring a goal and elevating your team, things like that. But there's not a lot of people out there who get a chance to score a goal in front of 40,000 people. What's it like scoring a goal in your hometown and turning and there's 40,000 people there cheering for you?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, it was just like the goal against Tigres. I just wasn't really sure what to do, just kind of overwhelmed with happiness and, just giving the team a chance to get back into the game. So, yeah, it was incredible, and just to hear how loud the stadium was and be in front of my family and my hometown and these fans, it's a experience I'll never forget.
And it didn't look like that wasn't a planned celebration. I mean, it looked like you maybe put some thought into that.
Yeah.
Maybe?
I mean, after last one, after I got a little bit of, I don't know what you want to call it from the last celebration. I had to think of something.
Mm-hmm. So hugging Ziggy, he was way over on the other end of the field. You
yeah,
didn't want to
didn't want to run that far, waste my energy.
DeAndre Yedlin's with us here at halftime. Sounders trailing 3-1 in the Reserve League. 1-1 draw with Colorado last night. What's the feeling of the team coming out of that game?
I think that one yesterday was one of those ties that kind of feels like a loss. I think we felt like we should have came out with a win there. But, it happens. And you can't, put your head down. You just got to move forward from it. And, we got to look forward towards Chivas next game.
And Chivas at home, a team you guys have had a lot of success against. What does it mean having those home games? You get 3 straight home games here. What does it mean to play at home for a stretch like this?
It's huge. I mean, we've been very good at home, I think, throughout these past 5 seasons. So, just continuing the streak at home and to be able to play in front of these fans again, it's amazing. And, it really pushes us forward to, play our best.
What was your first experience like at CenturyLink for a Sounders game?
To watch?
Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, especially because there you didn't know what to expect. I mean, because, now you obviously hear about how great the Seattle crowd is, but, my first game, I think it was the first game ever, actually. Freddie scored the 2 goals, and it was incredible. It was amazing. You always dream of that moment, being able to be on that field and having those fans scream for you. So finally got that, and, it's incredible.
When you were a kid, you go home from that game. That night, do you dream of playing in that jersey?
Of course, yeah. And I think that motivated me a little bit, and, that's eventually what I was, working for, and luckily I got my opportunity.
Did it live up to it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You guys have some big crowds coming up as well. Still 3 more games in the 3-match pack now. What does it mean? What's the extra feeling on the field for those games when you have an opportunity to play against beyond 40,000, when you get into 55, 60,000?
Oh, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that reaches some of the, the top crowds in the world. So I think especially in this league to be able to play in front of that, it's huge for us. I mean, no other team in this league knows what it's like to play that with a crowd that's behind you, that many people. So it's a huge advantage for us, and we have to take that and obviously use it to our best advantage, and hopefully we'll come out with 3 points in each of those games.
Now you're here at the reserve game. You had the opportunity to play in a reserve game as coming when you were with the academy, right? What are those like for kids? I know there's a few guys, a few of the young guys here in this one.
Yeah.
What's it like to go into a game like that and play there?
I just remember my nerves I was so nervous and so scared to make a mistake, but I've talked with some of these kids, and they're all here because they're good players. So they just got to go out and play how they normally play at the academy, and they'll do fine. I mean, like I said before, all these players are great players, and they're going to good colleges, and they do have a very good chance of being with the first team one day. So they go out, be confident, and and the rest will come.
And I know a few of these guys, Dylan Cerna, at least on the other side, right? For those young guys, those academy kids that go through their system, come out, go play a year to a college, what are those years at college like when you're going through there with that hope of getting that call from the pro side on the other side of it?
I think it's almost kind of like a little extra motivation, I mean, that's what you dream of every day, is to become a pro. If you love soccer, it's what you dream of. So college, you just basically work as hard as you can. Sometimes the teams that you play aren't I won't be as good as your team, but it's you just can't build bad habits. You gotta keep trying to improve yourself every day, and it's a long experience, but in the end it all works out.
Big week for you. You get named to the All-Star team. You come in, you score your first MLS goal. What's next for you, man?
Who knows? I have no clue. We'll see.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Is this a special All-Star do here? Is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of coincidence. I kind of wanted to change it up a little bit, but, found out I made the All-Star team and then changed it right after that, so it's a little bit of a coincidence, but, yeah, you can call it that.
We'll go for that. All right. That's DeAndre Yedlin. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll come back with more on SoundersFC.com.
There's a right time for everything, and the right time to select a doctor is before you need one. A great place to start is Virginia Mason Medical Center, where more than 450 staff physicians practice team medicine. You can review our physician profiles online at virginiamason.org. You're certain to find several you'd be proud to call your doctor. Virginia Mason Medical Center. We're here to provide you with the care you need and the reassurance you want.
For the most up-to-date news and info on this week's matchup, including players to watch, opponent stats, and much more, check out the CenturyLink Scouting Report, hosted by me, Ross Fletcher. You can find this week's match breakdown on SoundersFC.com, at home matches on the Jumbotron just before first kick, and on your smartphone via the Sounders FC mobile app. CenturyLink, your Sounders FC and CenturyLink Field high-speed internet provider.
When your Sounders suit up off the pitch, they turn to Hart Schaffner Marks. For nearly 125 years, Hart Schaffner Marks has been making expertly designed, high-quality, and sophisticated tailored clothing right here in America. From all-star athletes to CEOs and presidents, Hart Schaffner Marks has been committed to helping men look their very best since 1887. Hart Schaffner Marks is the official tailored clothier of your Sounders FC and Major League Soccer. Hart Schaffner Marks is available at hsmclothing.com and select Nordstrom stores.
Your table for four.
Sounders FC fans, how about a table for four right on the field? Watch Sounders FC take on the competition from your exclusive slalom experience pitch side table at CenturyLink Field. This exclusive experience includes an on-field table for four, food and beverage with wait staff, on-site parking, and more. Call 877-MLS-GOAL or visit SoundersFC.com to experience the match from the sidelines.
Dream big, win big when you enter for your chance to win a trip to watch the Sounders play in sunny Dallas this October, only from American Family Insurance. This trip for four includes airfare, lodging, game tickets, sideline passes, Sounders jerseys, and more. It's a dream come true for any Sounders fan. To enter, visit amfam.com/Sounders today. Your dream is out there. Go get it. American Family Insurance will protect it. American Family Mutual Insurance Company and its subsidiaries. Home office, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783. No purchase necessary. For official rules and to enter, visit amfam.com/Sounders. Kick gas prices in the shin guards by taking Sound Transit to your next Sounders home game at CenturyLink Field. With the money you're saving on gas and parking, you'll be able to buy more hot dogs, drinks, and garlic fries for the entire family. You can also give traffic stress a yellow card and ride relaxed so you'll arrive ready to cheer for the home team. Visit soundtransit.org today and try the new trip planner. That's soundtransit.org. They'll make your next trip to the stadium easy.
Welcome back here at Starfire. It's halftime with the Rapids up 3-1 on the Sounders reserves. John Billings here alongside Matt Gash. And Matt, let's talk a little bit about the first half. The stats fairly even with both sides, but it necessarily doesn't reflect what actually happened. But let's shoot through those a little bit. First of all, the shots 7-6 in favor of Colorado, but probably the most notable thing is 5 on target for the Rapids.
Yeah, and just 2 for Seattle. Matt Pickens, not a whole lot to do there in the first half. And on the other end, Doug Herrick, he got kind of pummeled with some shots there over a stretch of about 7-8 minutes, and those 7-8 minutes really have been the difference in this game.
Yeah, not a lot he could have done on those either. The corner is definitely in favor of the Sounders. That was especially early in the match when they were getting forward and creating some chances. 5-1 Sounders over Colorado.
Fouls. Was that 4 in the first 4 minutes?
Yeah,
like that?
There was like 4 in a row for a moment there. 2 fouls conceded by the Sounders, 7 by the Rapids. And you saw it yesterday, Matt, too, and you can see, it's just really a mirror of the match that was played yesterday in that chances, you got to finish them, and then this physicality of the Rapids, it's an athletic program.
Yeah, and I think maybe one thing, maybe the biggest difference in this game has been, in addition to those shots, but those are all coming from this is a Rapids team that mostly these are players that are on their roster, guys that have been training together, guys that know each other. It always helps to have an MLS Cup winning goalkeeper in the back as well, but the Sounders team right now, with all the injuries and everything, you've got just a mix of guys that haven't played a ton together. One thing that's really stood out to me is Duncan McCormick, the young kid for the academy.
He's been good, hasn't he?
He's really stood out and has been and has. The one thing I've liked about him is he, much like DeAndre was talking about earlier, how you have to come in and play your game. He's not intimidated by going up against Danny Mwanga for a ball at the edge of the box, and he's really kind of stood his ground and played really well so far.
It's good to see some players are confident, kind of with that natural confidence. They know what they can do, and some guys may act like that until they get to the big stage, and then you see the truth. But he's one of those guys, just like Yedlin was in day one, when balls passed out to the right side, and he see a difficult ball to play. stepped up and played it, and you can see what type of rewards he's gotten.
Yeah.
Matt, you've had a chance to see a lot of the academy guys, and just to kind of piggyback your conversation with DeAndre, that's got to be inspiring for these young players to see that and see that this could be their future.
Absolutely. I mean, you see DeAndre, you see really kind of a lot of the guys that are kind of right on that brink. Your Sean Oakley's, your Nick Pilotacek, those types of guys that are kind of right on that brink of maybe having that opportunity. They look at DeAndre and what he's done and know that not only can they come to this level and play, but they can excel at this level. And that's all you need is just to see that one success story, because we've seen, and I hate the way this comes off because it sounds like I'm making fun of or knocking the other teams or whatever, but you've seen so many failures really from those academy guys that sign at 16, 17 years old and don't make it right away, and suddenly they're cut from their team and they don't have anywhere to go, and hopefully they can get an opportunity at the USL or another level. And I think the Sounders really have done it the right way in making sure these guys are ready to play at the professional level before they sign a contract.
Well, there is that in-between stage of good enough to be a pro but not good enough to play day in and day out.
Right.
DeAndre was special. He was ready to go right in, but college helped him there a little bit as well. And frankly, that's why we're here for the reserve match today. This is that in-between opportunity for guys to get ready for the next step up. Well, Matty, we'll let you go. Cover things from your side of the fence, and obviously anything you want to see with Matt Gash, check out SoundersFC.com.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Well, we're ready to go for the second half here at Starfire. 3-1 on the board, but as we saw in the first half with all the action, this one may not be over yet. It's a 2-goal deficit. Sounders trail, and they'll go from right to left in the second half of play as the Rapids from left to right. We'll keep you posted here with any halftime substitutions. Just looking down, I see a few new faces out there, so we'll sum that up when we have an opportunity. And we're underway, second half. Rapids with the kickoff, and they'll start us off. Andy Mwanga with the flag raised, offsides. Certainly one that we see for the Sounders. I believe just one substitution in the first half for the Sounders. Luis Ramos coming in, and he'll replace the trialist, the number 52 we had in the center of midfield. So the 51, classic soccer numbers, of course. Luis Ramos out there alongside Duncan McCormick. Ramos, another youngster, staying with some of the Sounders U23 guys in town, just a few blocks away from Starfire. And the Sounders looking to be a little tighter at the back. They've created chances, if not for a few nice saves from Matt Pickens and company. It could be a different story here. Good high pressure from the Sounders. Duncan McCormick all over the back of Jaime Gastrion. Nice little bit of skill. He flicked it up over his head and then lumped it down the field. Now the Sounders back in possession. Sliding right in front of us is Duncan McCormick to pass it back to Dylan Remick. McCormick certainly one of the bright spots for the Sounders in that first half. Zavaleta collects the ball in it with his thighs. Now touches it left side to Will Bates. Tried to just slip the ball through the legs of the defender, but it was touched out. Throw in near side. Sammy Ochoa. And he'll just flick it back up to Remick. Remick had a chance if he could have collected it to cross the ball in, but bounced right off the top of his foot and over the end line. 48th minute here at Starfire. John Billings with you on the call. Thanks for joining us on a nice Sunday afternoon in Seattle. Hopefully you got the laptop opened up, the audio rolling out at a barbecue or something somewhere, because it's that type of weather here. Few places nicer than Seattle in July. Little diagonal ball on the ground into the feet of Zavaleta. Did well to hold off defenders, as did Dylan Remick. Back to Zavaleta now on his right boot. Touches it square. And Duncan McCormick just tried to flip it over to David Estrada, lost out. Now the teams exchange possession for a moment. Sounders in their own half now. With it once again. Well, the Sounders, I talked a lot about those injuries. So many players out due to little nicks here and some severe injuries as well. But also some players missing for other reasons, and some good ones at that. Eddie Johnson with the U.S. national team called up for the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Gold Cup in Baltimore today for the U.S. to take on El Salvador, and a great result for the Americans. There's Danny Mwanga trying to get onto a ball over the top. He'll try a drive, but just caught the outside of the boot, well off the mark. As I was mentioning, the Yanks with a 5-1 win today over El Salvador to head into the semifinals of the Gold Cup. And Eddie Johnson playing a big role, a goal and an assist. In fact, he came on right before a corner. Ball was played in. He headed it home with his first touch of the game. Not too shabby. He's been in that type of form. Scored with the U.S. national team when they were here in Seattle taking on Panama as well. So maybe he can kind of regain those scoring boots with the national team and bring him back to Seattle. Dylan Remick's going to try to chase this one down. A hit off his shins as the ball was deflected into him. He's not going to get there in time. Now we know about Remick's speed out of Brown University. He was two-time sectional champion at the 400-meter dash in high school. So not just speed, but he can run for days. I think the 310 hurdles and the 400 meters have got to be probably the two most difficult track events there is. It's like a constant sprint all the way around the track. I think I'll settle for watching it on TV. Here's Estrada. Nice little turn. Off the bouncing ball. Now he'll lay it out right side to Ochoa, who laid it back into the box. A chance for the shot. Blocked on the way in from Luis Ramos. He claims it was a handball. The official, you can see him grabbing his own shoulder as if to say it was blocked on the way in, just kind of behind the right shoulder. The defender jumped up, turned his head. And tough to tell where that ball was going from Luis Ramos, but certainly a good opportunity. An alert pass from Sammy Ochoa there, too, to lay that ball back out a couple steps outside the penalty spot. So we stay at 3-1. Rapids on top. In the 51st minute, ball played out far side for a throw-in right in front of the Colorado Rapids bench. Well, 3-1, we got there with 4 first-half goals. It started in the 6th minute of play from Danny Mwanga. A fantastic drive into the far side upper V. Then it was 1-1 as the Sounders trialist center back Sean Cunningham scored in the 12th minute. Just a minute later, and frankly it was less than that, seconds following the Cunningham goal, Tony Cassio got on the board in the 13th, and he added one more in the 20th, and that's where we stand. Good ball from Luis Ramos out to the right side. Seth Moses comes inside. It's a 1-2 from Ochoa. Ooh, he had Zavaleta, almost slipped it through to him, but it was blocked on the way through. Now the counterattack. This is what the Rapids did in the first half and had success. Anthony Wallace brings it across midfield. Right side, Jamie Smith now. He finds the feet of Danny Mwanga. Back to goal. Touched it back to a midfielder who tried a little quick pass. Jaime Vides down the right side, but the ball rolls out of play. Will Bates trying to find Zavaleta on the way through. Didn't get there first, but got it off the touch. And then eventually with the last one over the end line. Goal kick. Kind of an awkward one there. Officials here at Starfire were watering down the field at halftime. Sometimes this turf, when it gets hot, can get a little sticky. The ball takes some awkward bounces. Danny Mwanga reads that bounce well. He keeps possession for the Rapids. They're across midfield, far left touchline, just in front of their bench. Now back into the center of the pitch for Jamie Smith. The Scott, former Celtic United man. Hairbottom. I look to open up the boot and find the feet of Mwanga. Right at the edge of the area, blocked through. Rapids still with it. Good plays on the feet. Hairbottle just holding off the challenge of Duncan McCormick. Now Jamie Smith with some time and space. Sounders happy to just kind of pack things in for a moment, get their shape. Now Jaime Castellon brings it forward to the feet of Danny Mwanga. He's a tall, agile forward. That one takes a shot, blocked on the way through, and they'll say off a hand of a Sounder. It was right at the edge of the penalty area. And frankly, it was close. The official's going to point right about a half step outside, inside the top of the D. Doug Herrick on his right upright, leaning and trying to set up the wall, and it's pretty much straight out in front of him. So it'll be a free kick to the Rapids. 54th minute here. And it looks like it's going to be a wall of about 30 guys over there. Count them up. We've got 6 right now, plus a Rapids attacker who's just going to distract Doug Herrick as much as possible. A couple other players off to the right, but this is all shooting material. 3 players over the ball now, and one about 10 yards back if he does try a long run up, but it looks like it's going to be Jamie Smith. Now it's Hairbottle with the left foot into the feet, and the whistle came. I'm not sure if he must have been calling a foul in the wall there, displeased with what a Rapids attacker was doing. So despite the fact that the shot came low and was blocked away, it may not have mattered. All the way back to Doug Herrick. Herrick, just one of those guys it's good to have around the squad. A great personality, but always trying to get better. And you can kind of reflect some of his attitude with the fact that he's a biology major, a graduate, as we said, of St. Mary's. And he wants to be a pediatric physician, become much more of a community helper than that. I'm sure he'd be happy to accept the paycheck as well, though. 56th minute here. 4 goals scored in the first half, none yet here in the second. Mwanga able to get to the ball before the slide tackle of Patrick Ayani. And he slips it down the left channel to Tony Cassio. 2 goals on the day for him. Trying to get past the defender of Seth Moses. Moses, kind of at the second time of asking, got the poke away. Good defending from the right back. Now the Rapids with it on their right side. Vides tries the cross. It's blocked out and finds the feet of the second half substitute, Luis Ramos. Now off to Sammy Ochoa. Scampering across half field. Shirt untucked. Flailing through. Finds Estrada now. Estrada steps inside. And his cross attempted for Will Bates. Deflected away off the shins of Vides, the Guatemalan trialist for the Rapids. So a throw in near side in the 57th. And it's a long one again to the feet of Zavaleta. So the Sounders had about 10 long throw-ins at the end of the last night's game. Now a long counter. Danny Mwanga stands it up at the edge of the right side. One touch back to Hairbottle. Just trying to prepare the touch, get a little bit of space as he dances on the ball. And Mwanga has it poked off his foot, throwing right side. Rapids pushing some players forward now. Players warming up for both teams. No subs yet at half field. Probably about that time we could see some fresh legs coming on for either team. There's Tony Cassio, left side. They'll drop it back to Dylan Cerna. 2 goals in the reserves for he. A similar player to DeAndre Yedlin, an outside back that loves to get forward. And he was a member of that U20 World Cup squad, although just pulled off of it in one of the last line of cuts. So could have been Yedlin's teammate in Turkey for that World Cup. Ball headed out of play by Seth Moses. Quickly inserted back into action. Rapids into the box, driven past the near post. Harbottle was scampering in, had beaten his mark, but couldn't find the angle. Little pause in action. We had a couple balls on the field. Both teams still with some firepower available to them off the bench if they choose to use it. For the Sounders, the backup goalkeeper, Brian Meredith. A couple academy stars, David Olson out of Auburn, Washington, and Henry Wingo out of Lake Forest Park, as well as defender Ashani Fairclaw, the Jamaican, who was signed for the Sounders on March 21st, but recently let go. Ayani with the set piece to Sammy Ochoa off his head. It's an easy collection for Matt Pickens. The flag was raised, but official says play on anyway. Now a long ball, beautifully caressed down by Danny Mwanga. Into the right channel now. Gets a little 1-2 with Jamie Smith. Now looking to go 1v1. Got a couple players over to help out the defense of Jeff Cunningham. Sean Cunningham, excuse me. And did enough to force Mwanga back, and it's all the way halfway into their own half now for the Rapids as they reboot. Cerna coming forward. Casio able to pick it up off the deflection. He's drilled down as Estrada came back and saw Casio running towards the penalty area. I think Estrada a little bit safe, or a little bit lucky here to not have received a yellow card. Will be a free kick, a few steps outside of the corner of the box. And the halt in action for a moment is for a substitution coming for the Sounders. Now we're being told they're going to hold off for a moment and wait till after the set piece. Harbottle over top of it with the left-footed option. He took the last free kick, but this is a little more of a cross option. It's from Smith to the near post, and it's offside netting. It looked like he thought he was going to catch Doug Herrick, just leaning away from that near post and maybe put the shot on goal. And never able to put it on frame. So substitution for the Sounders coming on is going to be Henry Wingo, one of those academy products we spoke about. He subs in for Eric Zavaleta. Remember Zavaleta with a few moments in yesterday's game as well, so no big surprise that he doesn't go 90 minutes here today. 2 games in 2 days. And in comes Henry Wingo. Graduate from high school in 2014. And he's going to slide into that right wing position. We'll push Estrada forward. So now David Estrada playing up top. And we'll reset the lineup for you here. It's Henry Wingo, the new addition into the game. We'll start from back to front. Doug Herrick in goal. Remick, Cunningham, Iani, and Moses, the back four. In the midfield, Duncan McCormick and Luis Ramos are the center midfielders. Will Bates on the left side right now, and Henry Wingo on the right. And then up top is Sammy Ochoa and David Estrada. Here come the Rapids. Casio holding off defenders. Now sneaking past another one. Lays it across. Harbottle with the shot, and it's saved down to his left. Doug Herrick just reaches the left fingertips down to pinch the ball against the turf and make the save. All of his momentum was going to the right, and he had to quickly react down to the left. That's a nice stop for Doug Herrick. It's one of those that maybe doesn't go on the highlight reel. It's a real nice outstretched save. But an alert play to make the stop and keep the Sounders within shouting distance here. And in Mwanga, who just kicked the ball off the field here, now back on the ball. He goes through, and his through pass to Smith, sent wide. Now the former Celtic United man who played a year in Holland has been marked as his team one of their most skilled players really in the lineup. He's been kind of plagued with injuries though since coming over to the Rapids. And he missed a big chance there. You can see him nodding his head down as he walks back, now clapping to his teammates with appreciation for that pass. And it could have been 4-1. Remick near side. The layoff from Ramos. Now Estrada into the box, trying to drive it across, and it's got a little bit too much underneath it. All the way out near the far corner flag, and Henry Wingo loses out. Tony Cassio coming away. Rapids on the counter once again, this time read pretty well by Patrick Ayani to cut things out. Dylan Remick right near midfield, who found the feet of Duncan McCormick but caught in possession right in dead center of the pitch. Great slide tackle from Patrick Ayani though, gives the Sounders back possession. Now they look to counter. Dylan Remick, left side, bending a ball to the far side. Cut off on the way through. And the first touch so far for a substitute has just come on. Here's Will Bates on the turn, shot down, saved by Pickens. Will Bates just latched on to a ball, slipped through near the top of the box. Tried to drive it low to the back post. So Pickens shows why he led the Rapids to the 2010 MLS championship. Just making smart saves. He wants that starting spot back. Well, a substitution that came just a few minutes back for the Rapids. A little shift in the lineup as well. Coming off was Herman Mera, who played in yesterday's game, coming on in the 66th minute for Marvell Wynn. And in is Kamani Hill, but it's not a straight swap. Anthony Wallace, the midfielder, steps back into center back position. And then Kamani Hill will step up into midfield. There's a nice shot and a nice save. Ramos came across the top of the box, tried to bounce it in front of Pickens and find an upper at the bottom corner there, but Pickens able to poke it out. And it'll be a corner to Seattle. And it'll be Luis Ramos. He earned the corner. He's going to take it. A good ball to the back post. Kamani Hill just shoving. I think it was Duncan McCormick off kilter a little bit. And now the Rapids on the counter. Harbottle touches it back to Cassio. Thought about going forward, but instead drops it back to Anthony Wallace, the new center back now in this formation. And the Rapids will restart things. Jaime Vides able to get to the ball before Dylan McCormick. Now touch back for Vides again. Top of the box. Kamani Hill thought about driving the shot. The referee was actually in the way, so he passed it left side instead. Harbottle, the Chilean, going 1v1. A good slide tackle. Defended down by Seth Moses and out for a throw. 68th minute here. Sounders trail 1-3. Luis Ramos thought he had David Estrada out the left side. The pass attempt cut off by Castellon, but not a good touch from him. Now the Sounders coming back the other way. Remick forward, held up off the turf with the bounce, but then headed free. Rapids defending well. Now Danny Mwanga, as the match starts to slow pace down a little bit here. You can see some of the legs starting to tire. Here's Hill. Allowed time and space, but he passes left side to Casio. Touch back to the Scot, Jamie Smith. Now left side to the youngster, Dylan Cerna. Casio to the feet on top. Now Mwanga, right side, going 1v1. Inside the box. Now we're to the penalty spot. Great touch and skill to keep possession. But the Rapids, I think, had a few opportunities to just get a little bit of space and shoot inside the penalty area. Instead, they'll hold on to it. And why not? Up 3-1. Finally, after the last 5 minutes or so of good possession, one bad touch, and the Sounders regain the ball. Seth Moses, the 20-year-old, who's been playing for the Austrian second division team, SCR Altach. He's the trialist right back for the Sounders here today. There's Will Bates coming forward. Top of the box, little 1-2, Ochoa to Estrada, and Ochoa, after he was passing the ball off to Estrada, is chopped down right at the edge of the box, near dead center of the pitch. And in the 70th minute, the Sounders are going to have a free kick opportunity. It's pretty close, and sometimes this is a difficult space to get the ball up and over the wall. You don't really have time to bend it. So it may be power rather than placement. The second half substitute, Luis Ramos, has been good since coming on at halftime. He stands as if he's going to have a right-footed option. Will Bates, the University of Virginia product, about a step to his right. And then David Estrada, 3 more steps to the right side of them. It'll be Ramos, and he puts it right into the wall. And the second opportunity, sky's over. Well, you're a trialist for the team. You played a part in earning that free kick opportunity. Why not step up, see if you can make your mark. As I said, it's really tough when you're that close in to get it up and over the wall. Sometimes it's better to be a few feet further out and have some time to bend the ball. Sounders back in possession, right at midfield. The aforementioned Ramos touches it back, and a nice interchange down the right side. Springs free for Henry Wingo. His cross low, and just stretching out with the bottom of his boots was Brenton Griffiths to block it on the way in. University of South Florida product, who's been a member of the U20 national team. He's been good today as a center back for the Rapids. Remick allowed time and space, tried the long drive. Just a few steps right of the goal, and I think fairly over the bar. Well, amazing to feel sometimes is how long this Major League Soccer season can be, and you toss in some CONCACAF Champions League as well as U.S. Open Cup and reserve matches. But now we're into the second half of the year. Sounders had played less games than anybody else in Major League Soccer before this weekend. So an opportunity now to restart and see what they can do. Here's Estrada, sprung free. He lays it across, the shot in from the Academy product, Henry Wingo. Goal to the Sounders. Wingo there to punch it home off the David Estrada cross. And it's 3-2 for Seattle, giving them the opportunity to come back into this. Just one goal down now, with more than 15 minutes remaining here at Starfire. And Henry Wingo, the 17-year-old, with a goal in reserve league play. A big part of that U18 Academy program that just finished up or is currently finishing up in Texas. with the U18 finals. Only 8 teams reached the finals, and Wingo actually got a goal in the run-ups to those finals, helping the team qualify with a 3-2 victory. His was the game winner. And he may have just scored a pivotal one here in this one. Estrada finding Ochoa. That partnership has been good. 2 players that have played with each other for the few years now, both California natives. Mwanga off to Harbottle, trying to return the favor. But Patrick Ayani came over. Now Wingo is buzzing in the midfield. Able to get onto that one and find space for Dylan Remick on the left side. He'll put a left foot across to the back post. Bates knocks it up in the air, and Pickens will allow it to just flutter down out over the end line for a goal kick. Substitution coming here for the Rapids. And it looks like leaving is going to be the number 6, Anthony Wallace. Started in today's match as kind of that holding midfielder spot, then slid back to center back when Herman Mera was subbed out. And now this may be a little more of a like for like center back coming on in his stead. The number 35, Kurt Young, an academy product, part of the U18s for the Rapids. To be fair, if you saw him, about 6'3" at least, with good size and filled out. He doesn't look like a U18 academy player. He's one of the biggest guys on the field now. 75th minute. And it's been a fun one so far. 3-2 the score. Sounders with the lone goal of the second half thus far to pull back within 1. And now with exactly 15 minutes left on the clock to go in search of a little more. Doug Herrick with it. We'll just roll it out and get us restarted with his feet. It's interesting. Sometimes a teammate can make you look a little bit better. Right now, Sammy Ochoa is starting to kind of grow into the match. It's happened since David Estrada was switched up top. I think a similar thing that Lamar Nagel can offer for his teammates. His work rate makes everybody else's job a little easier. Here come the Rapids into the box. Harbottle always happy to dance around on the ball. Now he'll touch it back. Ball floated in, headed away by Iani, right in front of his goalkeeper, Doug Herrick. Well, that was inches away from a free header in the box for Castellon. Now the Sounders come the other way. Estrada put free. Oh, but it's offsides. And again, it comes off a 1-2 from Sammy Ochoa, as those two are forming a nice little partnership here. The pause in action will allow a chance for a substitution to Seattle. Leaving the match, Will Bates. And there'll be a little bit of a shift in the lineup as well for the Sounders, not a like for like. As coming on is a Shawnee Fairclough, the Jamaican, former University of South Florida product. And he's going to slide in at center back. And that'll push trialist Sean Cunningham out to the left side. And Remick, who was the left back, is forward now. Big collision right in midfield. Sammy Ochoa had left his feet to look to flick. The new center back, Kurt Young, came forward for Colorado, and the two just plowed into each other. That's a lot of size and mass barreling in. But both guys are okay. So let's reset in the 78th minute here, the lineup after a couple changes for the Sounders. Still Herrick in goal. The left back now is Sean Cunningham. The two center backs are Patrick Ayani and Ashani Fairclough, and the right back is Seth Moses. Moses with the touch there, as he collected Tony Cassio as well. He's just waiting to see if that ball had rolled over the end line before or after he touched it. And they'll say He touched it before it went across, so it will be a corner. And we'll reset the rest of the lineup with midfielders and attackers after this corner kick. Taken quickly, Casio, corner of the box, in the penalty area. Now forced outside by some nice pressure from Duncan McCormick. And Luis Ramos came over, pickpocketed Hairbottle, and then picked up the foul. Nice play there. Sounders back with it. Chance to collect themselves a little bit. We'll do the same. The midfield now is anchored in the center by Academy star Duncan McCormick and Luis Ramos. On the right wing, another Academy product, Henry Wingo. And the left side is Dylan Remick, who's moved forward on the left wing. Up top, Sammy Ochoa, David Estrada. Got a throw in here, left side. As the corner flag whips in the wind. Little breeze here, nothing to affect play. As Remick throws into the box. Headed away by Young. A drive. Just kind of knocked down, not really crisply, from Seth Moses. And here come the Rapids on the counter. Danny Mwanga, one player up there with him is Kamani Hill. He'll slow it up and allow Tony Casio to join in. Left side, trying to go by Moses. Big shove on Moses. Both of them able to stay on their feet. Now back to Cerno. Tries the long switch to the near side. A little bit of an awry pass from Vitas, the trialist. To give the ball back to the Sounders. Henry Wingo scampering in from the right wing into the center of midfield. Off to Cunningham. Now Ramos saw Wingo there and thought he could still sneak it out to the left side, but Wingo had checked his run. Came back and nobody was there. Ball out for a throw-in right at the corner flag. Maybe even nicked off the corner on the way out.
Go,
81st minute. Sounders still down a goal here. Cunningham is trying to play with the right side of the boot. Ball goes off a defender, and now the Rapids back in possession. John Billings here with you on the call at Starfire. Beautiful afternoon in Tukwila, Washington, about 10 minutes or so south of Seattle. And if you've missed any of today's match, a reminder to check out SoundersFC.com. Following the game, we'll have highlights for you. You can see what's been 5 goals here so far. We'll have all the action for you there. And check out some of the future of the team, some of these academy players, and maybe even a trialist or two. Rapids in possession. Just across midfield, trying a long diagonal switch pass, and it's a good one. Find Casio. One touchdown, but Doug Herrick read it. Scampers off his line and collects. Good long throw from Herrick as well to release the Sounders down the left side. Remick into space for Estrada. One touch to look inside. Now he'll look back to Remick. It was touched on the way through by Griffiths, the center back. And here come the Rapids. Slowed up near the edge of half field. Deflected a couple times. Kamani Hill has a drop down from him, the UCLA product, who joined the Rapids after playing for a short stint professionally in Portugal for Victoria. Had a decent year in 2012, 19 games played, just 3 starts, but had 5 goals this season. Just 6 games played and yet to score. So trying to get back into form for the Rapids. Hairbottle. Just trying to show to the left and clip the ball back to the right. Mwanga never moved. The two off a little bit awkwardly on that. And you can just kind of feel the game slowing now, whether it be due to fitness for some players not used to playing a full 90 minutes. Not exactly the hottest day here, but a little bit of heat. Ochoa, he'll try a screamer, and right into the breadbasket of Matt Pickens. He had to get his body down to the right to make the save. A little bouncing ball at the top of the box. Sammy Ochoa thought he had an opportunity and unleashed one. Ochoa, the interesting player within the Sounders roster right now. Was in the 18 yesterday, but did not play. At times, he shows little glimpses of just brilliance, whether it be to score or set a teammate up, and other times, you might not mention his name for a good hour or so in the match. Estrada's got time and space on the left side channel, and it closed quickly on him. His cross blocked out for a throw. Now Estrada trying to find Ramos on a quick throw-in. Lumped up into the air now. Moses coming inside from his right back spot and able to battle his way back into the possession for Seattle. Remick, he'll try one to the back post. It had Pickens beaten, but went wide. 85th minute. The left back turned left winger now. Dylan Remick. It was going to be a tough angle there. Pickens covered it. And he talked a lot about it, even games where somebody like Marcus Hanneman was playing for the Sounders in a reserve match. It's all about angles for those goalkeepers. If you cut the angle down, something that Casey Keller was one of the best in the business at, you don't need incredible athleticism necessarily if you've got your angles covered. Sounders with the last few minutes, some good possession now in the attacking third. Duncan McCormick on the turn, takes contact, but ball cleanly won before so by Hill. Now Hill has to evade a slide tackle from Patrick Ayani. McCormick on the turn this time is pulled down, certainly illegally, and our first yellow card of the game will ensue. Jaime Castrillon, the 30-year-old midfielder, came forward and just got all of Duncan McCormick. So a yellow card in the 86th minute for Castrillon. And good to see McCormick up. A little bit of a slight limp as he walks away. And I think appears to be okay. He's done a lot of running out there. The Academy star. So free kick, ball floated in, headed back across by Moses. And defended pretty well. Rapids have done so all day. Good numbers on set pieces. Now ball lobbed back in and a chance to counter now as the Rapids have clear. Mwanga steps past Doug Herrick, who was way outside the box, but after Mwanga turned the corner, he lobbed it back towards the goal and was far wide. A poor attempt from Danny Mwanga, who maybe showed a little bit of fatigue himself there with a lack of concentration. Things are getting a little scrappy out here. Who can keep focus for the final moments? Into the 87th minute. Estrada said his name a lot lately. He steps one inside. He tries the drive. And had a nice little bend on the ball. A lot of spin, but once they hit the turf, it straightened out, and the easy one to collect for Pickens. So into the 88th minute, neither team with a player up warming on the far side. Now just catching a glimpse, somebody already at midfield. So it looks like one more change for the Rapids. The Sounders appear to be happy with the lineup they've got out there. Good crossfield ball from Luis Ramos. Finds Cunningham up forward. Former U23 national teamer off to Estrada. Ball into the box. Skims off the top of Sammy Ochoa's head. And out past the far post. A chance now for that substitution for the Rapids. And coming off, Kevin Harbottle. He certainly showed his skill. Debuted professionally at just 17 years of age for Universidad in Chile. And the diminutive midfielder will leave. And the substitute coming on, Colombian Yosimar Grandal. So Grandal will slide kind of onto the right side here of midfield. A long lob diagonal ball intended for him. Finds Cunningham's head, the left back now for the Sounders. Heads wide and out for a throw. Well, the conversation between the Rapids and the Sounders may be one that will on-go for a while. Not just next to each other in the Reserve League standings, but also in the MLS first team standings. Rapids have played more games, but the points are pretty close. And you just kind of never know how things will go. Such a long season, an opportunity to shift things up. If the Sounders can get healthy and make a little run, it might not be a factor, but as it is, these two could be fighting for one of the final playoff spots in the West. I think the Western Conference, although maybe not as difficult at the very top, is pretty tough all the way to the bottom. And it doesn't seem like there's really any easy games in the West of MLS. 90th minute now. Back to Doug Herrick. We'll get us restarted. Fairclough trying a long ball straight up the pitch. The run from David Estrada. He gives a little thumbs up, but it was a tough one for him to corral. One bounce, and Pickens nabs it. Pickens on his way back from that broken arm suffered in March against Real Salt Lake. Played against Santos Laguna in an exhibition match. Played about 8 days ago. So this is his second full game back. And from what I've heard from the Rapids, they're saying maybe one more game. Next week they've got a match, then reserve match like today. And they'd like to see how he looks after that. And then it's a goalkeeper competition on. That whistle you heard. Another offsides. Ochoa just snuck behind his defender. 90 minutes are up and we're into extra time here. Colorado 3, Seattle 2. Casio able to get behind Seth Moses for a moment, but Moses with that speed able to catch back up, force Casio into the corner where he's happy to try to waste some time. And he'll be earning a throw-in for the Rapids. Casio, one of the stars here today. 2 goals to his name in the first half. One in the 13th and one in the 20th minute. And Sounders just knocked the ball off him there after he was down on the pitch. So goal kick. Doug Herrick ushers his teammates forward. He'll lob it forward, see if they can get a knockdown and get one more chance. The header won by Casio will be allowed to run out of play for a quick throw. Luis Ramos. And he lost out. Kamani Hill. Fairclaw read it, knocked it up into the air. Remick there had a little bit of time to settle it, but headed it backwards and gave it back. Now Fairclaw called for the foul on Danny Mwanga, who certainly looks to be benefiting from these minutes here for the reserve team. A chance to regain some fitness. Scored a great goal to open us up in the 6th minute. I think just trying to get back to that sharpness and showing his coaching staff that he can bring it every game. Herrick, long diagonal. Out to the right side. Grabbed by Will Bates, just jumping off the bench. Right on the far side of the pitch. Wingo will try a throw-in. McCormick just battered from behind as he flicked on the throw. Nothing called. And the Sounders with a lot of players forward just trying to lump the ball into the box, but the knockdown falls to Colorado. And that's going to do it. Well, an eventful afternoon here at Starfire. The final score, the Colorado Rapids Reserves 3, Sounders FC Reserves 2. Goal from Cunningham in the first half. And in the second half from Academy star Henry Wingo gives the Sounders their 2 goals on the day. And in the end, come up a little bit short here against the Rapids. So the Sounders will be back to action next weekend with a game against Chivas USA. And then the following day, the reserves take to the field once again, looking to get back healthy, happy, and get the Sounders going for the second half of the season. Well, for all of our crew here at Starfire and myself, John Billings, Matt Gashk, and DeAndre Yedlin, even who was up here in the booth earlier, thanks for listening. A reminder, check out SoundersFC.com for highlights following the match. We'll see you next time.
Got nothing against the big town. Still hate to see it enough to say, look who's in the big town.